I'm starting something new called Supplement Spotlight. So, this is where every Wednesday I dive into a new supplement and how it impacts your brain. And today we are going to be talking about a game changer supplement for brain health called magnesium. So, also, if there's a supplement that you are curious about, or one that you want me to make a future video on and break it down for you when it comes to your brain health, like let me know in the comments. I'd love to dive into the research and share the facts with you so that you just feel better equipped to make better choices for your brain health. So, let's start off with the basics of what magnesium is. Magnesium is one of those nutrients that everybody talks about, but not enough people nearly understand. So, magnesium is an essential mineral, which means that your body can't function properly without it. And in fact, it's the fourth most abundant mineral in your body, and it acts as an electrolyte. So, it helps your nerves fire, it helps your muscles contract, and it helps your heart keep its rhythm and rate. It's also the cofactor for over 300 enzyme systems. So this means that it's involved in hundreds of biochemical reactions that are happening in your body right now in this exact moment. So the big areas that magnesium plays a role in is that it plays a role in ATP production. So this is your body's main energy source. It plays a role in glucose metabolism, your DNA and protein synthesis. It plays a role in nerve conduction, bone health, cardiovascular regulation, and even in the synthesis and regulation of vitamin D. Now, here's the unfortunate thing is that more than half the adults of today don't meet their daily requirement for magnesium intake. And it's not because we're not trying, it's because the typical Western diet is seriously lacking in magnesium-rich foods because, processed foods, refined fast grains, and fast foods are what dominate most diets. And magnesium-rich food options are things like dark leafy greens, nuts and seeds, legumes, whole grain salmon, and chicken. They get pushed to the side. And a lot of breakfast cereals and breads are also fortified with magnesium, but unfortunately, that's not enough to really help our body get the magnesium it truly needs. And so, magnesium deficiency isn't just like a not ideal situation, it actually comes with very real consequences. So, studies have linked low magnesium levels to an increased risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, metabolic syndrome, and even osteoporosis. And it truly is a core nutrient that keeps your body and especially your brain thriving. So, how does magnesium impact your brain health? Let's start with neurotransmitters, which are your body's chemical messengers. So, magnesium directly influences neurotransmitters like GABA, which help to calm your brain, serotonin, which is your mood stabilizer, happy hormone, and dopamine, which is your motivation and reward hormone. Magnesium also blocks something called NMDA receptors. These receptors prevent excessive glutamate activity in the brain. And you might be like, okay, cool, why does that matter? This is because glutamate is your brain's primary excitatory neurotransmitter. And when it's overactive, it can lead to neurotoxicity and conditions like migraines, anxiety, and even neurodegenerative diseases. So by blocking this overactivation, magnesium protects your brain from overstimulation. It also plays a huge role in neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to form new connections, which is crucial for learning, memory, and adapting to new situations. And magnesium also preserves the integrity of your blood-brain barrier, so it ensures that toxins and pathogens stay out of your brain. So research has shown that people with Alzheimer's disease have significantly lower levels of magnesium in their brains compared to healthy individuals. Low magnesium levels are also linked to increased neuroinflammation, which is a major driver in neurodegenerative diseases. And here's where things get interesting because not all magnesium supplements are created equal. The form of magnesium you take can dramatically impact how it affects your brain and your body. So let's go through the different forms. Magnesium oxide, this is the form that you'll often find in very cheap multivitamins, and it's not very bioavailable, which means that your body doesn't absorb it well. It's mostly used as a laxative. Magnesium citrate is one of the most common forms of magnesium. It's more bioavailable than oxide, and it's often used to relieve constipation and support digestive health. Magnesium bisglycinate, this is one of my go-tos for stress, anxiety, and sleep, and this is because it has a calming effect on the body, it's gentle on the digestive system, and it's truly a favorite for promoting relaxation. So it's great, again, for like that insomnia, chronic stress, or anxiety type picture. Magnesium malate, it's often known for its ability to combat fatigue and muscle pain, and it's often recommended for people who have fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome. Now, magnesium taurate, this is a form of magnesium that combines magnesium with taurine. And also, by the way, all of these magnesiums I said, they're called these magnesiums because it's a molecule of magnesium bound to another molecule of whatever it is, right? So magnesium bisglycinate is magnesium bound to two glycinate molecules. Magnesium taurate is magnesium bound to taurine. Magnesium oxide is magnesium bound to an oxide molecule. So that's why we call it that. So magnesium taurate is the one that's known to support cardiovascular health. It's great for heart health and regulating blood pressure. Magnesium L-threonate. And so this is the one I want you to really pay attention to and what a lot of this video is going to focus on. So L-threonate is a unique molecule because it can cross the blood-brain barrier. So it truly does make it one of the best choice for directly supporting brain health. So it's been studied for its role in improving memory, cognitive function, and even reducing the symptoms of age-related cognitive decline. We're going to chat about magnesium L-threonate a lot, as I said, but let's get into some general research studies about the beneficial impacts of magnesium on brain health. So the first two studies are general, and then the rest of them, we're going to really dive deep into the impact of magnesium L-threonate. Let's start with some eye-opening research on specifically magnesium's role in protecting your brain from neurodegeneration. So I want you to think like Alzheimer's disease and dementia. So studies have found that people with Alzheimer's disease have significantly lower magnesium levels in their brain compared to healthy individuals. And so why does that matter? This matters because what this study shows is that magnesium helps to regulate inflammation in the brain by down-regulating specifically pro-inflammatory cytokines. And when these inflammatory cytokines are active, they essentially spark inflammation in the body, they damage brain cells, and they speed up neurodegenerative processes. So by keeping these inflammatory cytokines in check, magnesium helps to kind of cool down that brain inflammation and reduces the buildup of those amyloid beta plaques, right? So these are those protein clumps that come together, and they're the hallmarkers of Alzheimer's disease. And the benefits of magnesium don't even just stop there. So if you have conditions like diabetes or insulin resistance, your magnesium levels are likely already out of balance. So diabetes impairs magnesium absorptions, and it can lead to glucose intolerance and insulin resistance, which can further fuel brain inflammation. So this really does create that vicious cycle of high blood sugar levels that worsen inflammation, and then low magnesium makes it harder to break this cycle. So even if you're not worried about Alzheimer's disease right now, keeping your magnesium levels optimized could be one of the most powerful preventative tools for long-term brain health. Now, let's talk about brain size. Yes, bigger can be better, especially when it comes to brain volume and cognitive function. So a 2023 study published in the European Journal of Nutrition looked at over 6,000 adults between the ages of 40 and 73. And researchers tracked their magnesium intake over 16 months using detailed food questionnaires that covered over 200 magnesium-rich foods. So think again, those foods like leafy greens, nuts, legumes, and whole grains. And here's what they found. People who consumed more than 550 milligrams of magnesium daily had larger brain volumes and fewer white matter lesions. So these are areas of brain damage linked to cognitive decline. And by age 55, these individuals had brains that looked 1 year younger compared to those who consumed only 350 milligrams per day. And here's what's interesting. The benefits were especially notable in women, particularly those who were postmenopausal or premenopausal, suggesting that magnesium may play a protective role against hormonal shifts that impact brain health. So what does this translate to? Eating more magnesium-rich foods or supplementing can literally help to preserve your brain's structure as you age and potentially reduce your risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Now I'm going to be highlighting that specific form of magnesium that's been making waves in the brain health world, which is magnesium L-threonate. So as I mentioned before, unlike other forms of magnesium, L-threonate has a unique ability to cross the blood-brain barrier, which means it can technically directly impact your brain cells, and the research with it is fascinating. In animal studies, and particularly there's been studies done on mice with Alzheimer's disease, magnesium L-threonate didn't just boost cognitive function, but it also worked through the gut-brain axis. So it improved the gut microbiome, repaired the intestinal lining, and reduced neuroinflammation. So this is a big deal right now because we know that gut health and brain health are deeply connected. And so by healing the gut, magnesium L-threonate directly healed the brain. And what about humans? A 2024 randomized control trial explored how magnesium L-threonate affects sleep in adults with self-reported sleep problems. So in this study, they had 35 to 55-year-olds participated in, and the dosage they gave was 1 gram of L-threonate daily for 21 days. So what does this equate to? This equates to 75 milligrams of bioavailable magnesium, and the results in the study were actually incredible. Participants reported experiencing deeper, more restorative REM sleep. So this is the stage of sleep that's essential for creativity, memory consolidation, and mental restoration. They woke up feeling way more refreshed, alert, and energized, and even mood improved. So people reported feeling less irritable, more positive, and overall more resilient to stress. So these changes started showing up within 14 days, and here's the cool part. It wasn't necessarily about falling asleep faster. The real magic quality was an improving the quality of deep sleep, which is when your brain does its best repair. And in this study, there was a placebo group part of it, and they did find that expectation plays a role in how well placebo group trial goes, but the improvements in deep sleep and mood were significantly higher in the group taking magnesium L-threonate. There was another study done on a supplement called Magtein. So this is a patented form of magnesium L-threonate, and it focused on how it impacted stress, anxiety, and fear. So 51 participants took either Magtein or a placebo in a double-blind controlled trial study. This means that the participants and the researchers didn't know who was taking what. And so those taking Magtein reported lower anxiety, less fear, and a noticeable improvement in mood. And here's what's really interesting is how magnesium achieves this. So as I mentioned before, it blocks those NMDA receptors, so it prevents glutamate, the brain's primary excitatory neurotransmitter, from going into overdrive. And at the same time, it increases GABA availability. So this is your brain's main calming neurotransmitter. So this dual effect of calming and increasing that neurotransmitter is what creates that sense of calm and reduces anxiety. And what's even more mind-blowing is that this study found that even though the magnesium blood levels increased by over 300%, when they checked the magnesium in the fluid that surrounds your brain and spinal cord, it only increased the magnesium to a 19% increase. But that was enough to significantly increase and improve that stress and mood scores. Lastly, let's talk about magnesium L-threonate and ADHD. So in a small pilot study, so it's pretty small, about 15 adults with moderate ADHD, participants supplemented with magnesium L-threonate for 12 weeks. And the results, they noticed a 25% reduction in ADHD symptoms. So things like impulsivity, inattention, emotional dysregulation all improved. While the symptom reduction was mild, the takeaway here was that a modest magnesium boost can be enough to support brain health and attention, especially with those people who have a lower baseline of magnesium levels. So what does all this mean for you? Essentially, this means that magnesium can potentially improve your sleep quality and support REM sleep. It can enhance memory and cognitive function, reduce anxiety and stress, support blood sugar balance, and improve insulin sensitivity, lower blood pressure, especially if you're deficient. It can help to manage migraines and headaches, protect against neurodegeneration, age-related cognitive decline, like so many things here. And so the recommended daily allowance for magnesium for men is 400 milligrams. So men between the ages of 18 to 30. Over 31, the recommendation for men is 420 milligrams. And in women, the recommendation from 19 to 30 is 310 milligrams. And then women over the age of 31, the recommendation is a little bit higher to 320 milligrams. And here's the thing I want you to remember is that unfortunately, most people don't come close to these numbers. And if you are stressed, exercising a lot, or eating a diet high in processed foods, your magnesium needs are even higher. Now, the other thing you might be wondering is when is the best time to take magnesium? So magnesium really can be taken any time of the day, but I do recommend, what I tell my patients is to split the dose, half in the morning for energy and focus and half at night to support relaxation and sleep, depending on what magnesium you're taking. So if you're taking L-threonate, it might be a good way to take it like that. If you're taking bisglycinate, it might be just best to take it before bed. So it does vary, these recommendations, depending on what my client or patient in front of me is struggling. And so personally for me, I take magnesium every single night. I rotate between magnesium bisglycinate and then magnesium L-threonate when I really want that extra cognitive boost. And honestly, it's been truly a game changer for my brain, mood, and sleep. Magnesium is also generally known to be safe and toxicity is rare because any excess is excreted through the kidneys, but high doses have been known to cause digestive issues like diarrhea, nausea, and cramping, especially with forms like magnesium oxide or citrate. Loose stools by far is probably the number one thing that I do see with magnesium when it comes to my patients. And also keep in mind, magnesium can interfere with certain medications. So medications like bisphosphates for osteoporosis, antibiotics, it can compete with other supplements like, iron. So if you're taking a multivitamin, you really want to make sure that you're not taking competing supplements because it's going to really take away from the effect of taking that multivitamin in the first place. So if you're serious about taking your brain health to that next level and want that personalized guidance on the best supplements for your unique needs, book a complimentary breakthrough session with me. In this one-to-one session, we'll dive into the specific supplements that can enhance your focus, memory, mood, and energy. I'll teach you how to identify and fill any nutritional gaps that may be holding you back and really give you those tailored strategies to support optimal brain function based on your lifestyle and goals. So whether you're looking to boost productivity, improve cognitive performance, or just simply feel more mentally sharp, this session will really give you that roadmap to help you unlock your brain's full potential. So Don't leave your brain health to guesswork. It's like the worst thing you can do. You really need that customized plan that's going to work for you. If you're loving these supplement spotlights, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, let me know how it is, and I will see you next Wednesday to highlight another supplement.